Hey guys, it's Timmy. This is Pro Wrestling Unlimited as we are here on the 10th of October 2019 to talk about everything that went down last night on NXT. Last night we did talk about All Elite Wrestling, so now we're going to talk about NXT, and this is most likely going to be the norm as we did this last week, and we're doing it again this week. The AEW review will go up Wednesday night, and then the NXT review will be Thursday morning. It's just a lot better that way for me. That way I can get you guys the AEW review. Now, I want the feedback. Do you want me to do both on the same show? Or do you want me to have it split up like this? Because the thing is, if I do both on the same show, I can't watch both shows and give them enough of my attention each to review them both together right after they're over. That's why I do AEW first, and then I do NXT the next morning. Yeah, I can come back and do the NXT review the same night later, but it's going to be so late, especially for people on the East Coast, that it might be better for you to check it out in the morning. So with that, we are doing, like I stated, the AEW review on Wednesday nights. The NXT review will be on Thursday mornings. We could move it to Thursday night if it works better for some of you guys, so let me know in the live chat or in the comments below if you would prefer that this NXT review gets done tonight or Thursday nights, but at the same time, it's not that big of a deal. Since it's here on YouTube, you can go back and watch it whenever you want, even if you do miss it on Thursday morning. So just looking to see who was with us in the live chat. We will be taking some calls after we run down NXT. If you do want to give me your thoughts via text, you can do so at 510-906-1341. We got George John Cox, Fully Clutch, Donovan Elliott. We've also got Ruben Rodriguez, Big Boy Benny. What's going on, everybody? George John Cox with a comment in the live chat says, Tim, what's going on with the review and recap last night? You did not stay online. What do you mean? I did not stay online. I did the review, and that was all I was going to do. I never said I was going to do more last night than the actual AEW review. I mean, did I say I was going to do something else last night? No. I don't believe I did. Got more people filing in here to the live chat as they hopefully get the notification. Let's see if I got anything yet, because you know YouTube sometimes doesn't like to throw out that notification and let people know we're live, so I haven't got anything yet, so we'll see. As far as last night's NXT goes, I thought it was an okay show. Could have been better. There were some really good things, and then some kind of boring things as well, to be 100% completely honest. Let's try to get my notes to pull up here. For some reason, it's not wanting to come up. Just looking at the chat. Remember, if you do want to text in your thoughts about NXT or even AEW last night, you can do so at 510-906-1341. The number is in the live chat. So the show last night for NXT live on the USA Network kicked off with the Cruiserweight Championship match, the NXT Cruiserweight Championship match. Rush started off on fire, and Gulak cut him off using some catch-can wrestling. Rush tried to go to the top rope, and he was knocked off. During a commercial break, Gulak dashed a hope spot and worked over Rush. Suddenly, Rush made a comeback, but with the commercials, it was kind of hard to tell if the crowd actually got into it. He used a tilt-a-whirl into a tornado DDT for a near fall. Back from the commercial, Gulak turned Rush from a flip and mowed him down with a lariat to turn him inside out. Rush answered back with a roll-up for a 2 count. Gulak then trapped Rush in a dragon sleeper. Rush reversed the hold. The two then started reversing each other's moves, going back and forth here for a while before Gulak picked them up in a cyclone crash. Rush got to his feet on the bottom ropes to break the count. Crowd started chanting for Lio Rush at this point. Lio Rush with a springboard off the ropes. caught Gulak in the stunner, climbed to the top turnbuckle to deliver an just amazing frog splash, hits the frog splash, pins the North American champion, and becomes the brand new, not the North American champion, Cruiserweight champion, and becomes the brand new NXT Cruiserweight champion. When he hit the frog splash, Morrow made an Eddie Guerrero reference, because yesterday would have been Eddie's 52nd birthday. After the match, they show a bunch of replays, and William Regal comes out. Regal comes down to the ring, and he congratulates Lio Rush, attempting to put the belt around Lio Rush's waist. So as he's doing so, Gulak interrupts. Gulak grabs the belt and wants to present it to Rush himself, basically showing him respect and endorsing him as the new NXT Cruiserweight champion. God loved this. I loved this. I thought it was a really, really well-worked match. Again, I said that before. I thought it was paced very well. It just, overall, a great match. Then got a Finn Balor video package. Very well done. Another hype video for Tegan Nox right after, announcing that she will be making her NXT return next week. We then got Rhea Ripley versus Aaliyah. And I sent out a tweet when I was watching the show this morning. I said basically, I don't know of many other women in WWE that come off as big of a star as Rhea Ripley does. Rhea basically mauled Aaliyah in this match. Ripley no-sold the offense of Aaliyah, and she looked like a killer. She at one point applied a standing scorpion lock and then grabbed, like hoisted Aaliyah up and spun her around, still applying the hold. She then dropped her in a sit-out facebuster, kept the hold on, and then finally Aaliyah had to tap. Rhea Ripley then grabbed the microphone and said that, Shayna Baszler, you may be the most dominant NXT Women's Champion ever. You may have tapped, napped, and snapped all of your opponents, all the challengers, except me. She then said that she is coming for the NXT Women's Championship, and she's got a claim there because she never lost her NXT title match. She was screwed out of her NXT title match. The NXT announcers then plugged the big press conference coming up this Friday for the WWE in Las Vegas. Then we got a weird entrance, and no one knew what it was. The lights went out, and we saw like some construction stuff on the screen, and the crowd starts chanting, "Who are you? Who are you?" And at first it looks like there's two females. Then two males walk out, still all in shadows. Finally, graphics come up on the screen, lights come up, and it's Breezango, and the crowd goes wild. And then, as Breezango is coming down to the ring, oh, poor Beth Phoenix, literally says, I find construction work riveting. I've heard Breezango has many hidden talents. I've heard they are good at hammering things. Morrow then says, do you need a cold shower, Beth? Adam on line 1, she is on the edge. And then Nigel says something like, some reference to, you haven't felt like this since your bachelorette party. What the hell was this? So Breezango are supposed to take on Everrise, a new tag team in NXT, when instead they're drug out by Jackson Riker and the Forgotten Sons. So we end up getting the Forgotten Sons versus Breezango. Forgotten Sons had the heat on Breeze early before Breeze got a hot tag on Fandango. Fandango ran wild and executed a Falcon Arrow for a 2. Later, he did a Sunset Bomb for another near fall. Riker then interfered and posted Breeze. Fandango wiped him out with the Tope con Hilo. He was distracted with Riker, and Fandango fell victim to a Tope from Blake. Forgotten Sons then used their Military Remains finisher on Fandango, and Cutler covered him for the victory. Basically a squash of Breezango, to be 100% completely honest. We then got an excellent video package hyping up next week's match, a rubber match between Keith Lee and Dominic Dijakovic. They say this is the rubber match. One man has the win to finally have the advantage over the other. Great video package hyping this up. And then we got Boa versus Cameron Grimes. Talked about how Cameron Grimes doesn't get paid by the hour because all of his matches end quickly. Looks like we're having an issue with the live chat. I think we're fine. Let me see if my thing pops up. My thing pops up and the chat's fine. It's just no one probably chatting. So, Boa comes out. Grimes comes out. As the bell rings, Grimes points to the ramp. We learn that Killian Dane is making his way down. So Grimes quickly wins this match in 8 seconds, pins Boa, and darts out of the ring. Killian Dane comes down, stares down Cameron Grimes, so it looks like we may be getting Killian Dane versus Cameron Grimes at some point, and then he kills Boa, nails him with multiple Vader bombs. Then he takes Boa into the crowd and dumps him on the announce desk. He glares at the announcers and says, "This is only the beginning," and walks off. We then got a Damian Priest video, basically narrated his thoughts on, his attack on Pete Dunne, why he laid him out last week. Priest wants to make his name live forever at the expense of Pete Dunne. I think this is done really well. We did learn that these two will be facing off next week. We then got North American champion Roderick Strong taking on Isaiah Swerve Scott. Because you can't just call him Isaiah Scott. You got to call him Isaiah Swerve Scott every time. I think there was only it was literally 8 out of 10 times they say Isaiah Scott's name. It had to be Isaiah Swerve Scott. So, this was a good match. Story was Strong was overconfident and taking Scott a little lightly, though. They started the match with some grappling. Strong started talking trash, and Scott made him eat his words with a sidekick out of nowhere. Scott then did a cartwheel into a quebrada. Strong tried to cut him off, and Scott fought back with a head scissors and a shotgun dropkick. Scott had Strong reeling. Strong shook down Scott with hard chops, and then Strong targeted his back. Strong dashed a hope spot and dropped Scott into a backbreaker. Strong would dash another hope spot moments later. They fought through a commercial break. Roddy seemed to be in control during the entire commercial break. After the break, Scott made a brief comeback. He ran wild, leapt into a flying uppercut. Scott then hit a super kick followed by a draping DDT off the top rope, well, actually off the middle rope. Undisputed Era would then come out. Didn't actually really get involved. They were just there as a slight distraction. About this time, Scott springed into action with a flatliner and a super kick for a 2. With Strong hanging in the ropes, Scott did a slingshot double foot stomp to the outside. Undisputed Era slightly distracted but didn't actually touch Scott, which allowed Strong to strike with the jumping knee. He followed up with a psycho knee and an end of heartache. Strong then applied his Boston Crab to make Scott tap. So after the match, Adam Cole started cutting a promo, said that, Isaiah Swerve Scott, he's a good talent. He's really good. He's just not on the level of the Undisputed Era. At this time, the Velveteen Dream, high on a podium, would interfere. He tried to mock Strong with a photo of Strong and the belt draped over his penis, kind of like Shawn Michaels' photo from way back in the day. Dream made a penis joke and said that in 2 weeks' time, he will be coming for that North American Championship, and everybody will get to experience the Dream once again. He said, and then when he wins the title, Roddy going to look like this, and the belt was missing from the photo, and they had just a little censorship over his pecker. So right as Roddy was going nuts and Undisputed Era was trying to calm him down, the music of Tommaso Ciampa would play, and Ciampa would come out dragging a crutch. And Tommaso Ciampa's presence, doing nothing, is just absolutely phenomenal. He literally came out here and said one line, and that was it. So he comes down with his crutch, dragging it slowly and methodically, gets in the ring. Undisputed Era bolts. Undisputed Era standing on the ramp. Champa grabs a chair and sits down. He then says nothing more than, Goldie, Daddy's home. Crowd goes apeshit. Undisputed Era, they don't know what to think. They're beside themselves. And that's it. Great. So as we go backstage, Kathy Kelly was waiting to interview Tommaso Ciampa when Angel Garza interrupted. She tried to ignore him, and Ciampa jumped in. She said she wanted to interview Ciampa after his confrontation in the ring. Garza was basically just like, why don't you interview me? I'm the one that's been here. I'm the one that's been putting in the work. Ciampa beat him up and strolled off. Something about Bianca Belair versus Dakota Kai. This match was okay. Kai had Belair reeling on the onset of this match until Belair cut her off. Belair showed her fire, and she toyed with Kai for a little bit till we went to commercial break. There was actually no split screen during this break. And just like in all the other matches tonight, as soon as we come back from commercial, the babyface made a comeback. Dakota Kai ran wild a little while. Wild a little while. That's a funny line. Wild a little while. Till finally, Bianca Belair cut her off. Belair put a stop to it and put her in a chicken wing facebuster. Did a standing, running, shooting star press. Only got a 2. Kai countered some moves. Got a near fall, but Belair dodged a kick. And then she executed her KOD for the victory. So after the match, Belair cut a promo, kind of on Shayna, but more on Rhea Ripley. She said that she deserves another shot at the NXT Women's Championship, but if anybody thinks that they deserve it over her, they have to go through her first. So it looks like we may get Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair at some point as like a number 1 contenders match, where I would hope Rhea Ripley goes over, since again, Rhea Ripley has the claim that she has not been beat by Shayna Baszler. We've got another Finn Balor vignette for some reason. Pete Dunne then cut a promo on Damian Priest, basically just announcing the match for next week as we move in to the main event. So for the second week in a row, USA gave NXT an overrun, about a 10-minute overrun that we didn't. It was weird. It's weird that they're doing this overrun since they took it from Raw. So they really played up the size difference between these two early on. Walter was bullying Kushida early, but Kushida was able to out-wrestle him. This angered Walter. He pitched a fit before a commercial break. No split screen again as they went to the final break. Kushida, again, as it came back from break, babyface made the comeback. Kushida slipped on the ropes a little bit, doing an attempted springboard. Walter then mowed him down with a big boot to the face. Walter proceeded to get the heat on Kushida. He clubbed him with some chops and strikes. Kushida, in a counter, dropped Walter with a DDT. In the middle of his comeback, Kushida did a flying tomahawk like Tatanka would do back in the day. Kushida did his signature cartwheel into a dropkick. Walter teased a sunset bomb on the floor, but he just stomped Kushida instead. However, Walter posted him moments later on the apron. Kushida leapt up, hooked Walter, and hit him with a DDT on the floor. They teased the count out here, but Kushida tried applying the hoverboard lock. He could only get a simpler arm lock on, couldn't get the full thing, and Walter powered out and caught him in a sleeper. Kushida with an O'Connor roll. Walter countered it, though, into another sleeper. Kushida rolled out, and he went for a cross arm breaker. Walter blocked the hold, but Kushida used a small package to get a 2. They traded strikes and holds for a little bit. Walter then gave Kushida a suplex and a pump-handled German suplex for a near fall. Kushida kicked out at the very, very last moment. Then they were on the top turnbuckle, top rope. With this cool avalanche spot where they fell off the top rope and Kushida fell into the hoverboard lock. Walter, though, would get to his feet, holding Kushida still. He got his foot on the ropes, wrong spot. Kushida then went for the submission again, but Walter countered into a shotgun dropkick. Walter then powerbombed Kushida, but as he pinned him, Kushida kicked out. Walter then delivered basically a rainmaker. They call it the ripcord clothesline. Basically, he hit a rainmaker, just knocking Kushida inside out. And bada boom, there we go. Walter picks up the victory. As Imperium's coming out and getting ready to celebrate with their champion, Kathy Kelly is seen perched up high in Full Sail University as she announces that in 2 weeks' time, Roderick Strong will be going up against Velveteen Dream with the North American title on the line. Next week, Damian Priest will be taking on the former United Kingdom champion in Pete Dunne, and Tommaso Ciampa will be making his in-ring return against Angel Garza, and that was NXT. I thought the show was okay. I thought could have been better. I thought AEW was better this week. I really did. But overall, it was a good, solid show. And now I want to hear from you guys. You guys can call in with your thoughts on either NXT or last night's NXT or AEW. You can call in at 559-475-8473. Again, the number is 559-475-8473. If you do want to give me your thoughts, you can text in at 510-906-1341. Not sure if we're going to get any calls this early in the morning, but hey, you guys asked for it in the live chat. We'll see if anybody calls in. Just looking at the live chat. Actually, we do have a text message here. Person says, with NXT being live and 2 hours, do you see it as a third brand or still developmental? Maybe some guys stay in NXT and don't come up like a Johnny Gargano. Who do you see taking the title off of Adam Cole and all the rest of Undisputed Era? You know, that's a lot to think about. It's hard because I could see some guys staying down there, not forever, but longer than we would expect, like a Johnny Gargano, like a Tommaso Ciampa. As far as who's going to take the title off of Cole, sirens are on my end if you do hear that. The thing you got to think of is, shouldn't it be Ciampa? Shouldn't Ciampa be the one to take the title off of Adam Cole? He never lost. He never lost the belt, to be 100% honest. As far as the other members of Undisputed Era, that could be anybody. They can build up a new tag team. Fuck it, Breezango. Take the title off of Roddy. I don't even know. So, we'll see how it all does go. Should be interesting. Ratings should be out here in a couple of hours to see who won the night, AEW or NXT. I would assume AEW. Especially after that Jericho promo when it got out online and it was like, whoa, I need to see this show. So, we'll see how it all does go. But with that, I do want to say thank you to everybody who did join us right here on YouTube. Everybody who watches later right here on YouTube and listens on podcast services all around the world, like iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more. We'll be live tomorrow night following a SmackDown. It's not just SmackDown, though. It is the first night of the WWE Draft. I want to say thank you for joining me here live on this Thursday morning. Have a good night, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow. Or have a good day, actually.